Yeah, yeah, I got it.
So
We own it now. We
we
own it.
back streaming live. We back streaming live. We talked to Ernest S. Baskins, also known as Nemesis,
That's it all day.
Boom, known as Tressel. Yeah, and they were just talking about uh, daughters, having daughters with something I ain't got. Talking about from birth to the earth. What do I give them once they leave me and get out the house and go be out there on their own?
Hey, I disagree, bro. I saw you interact with some of our other colleagues that were very young and very into these unstable places, and where I saw that you had to step in
Yes,
and
Yeah.
sir.
give some guidance to this one young lady in particular, very young,
Yeah,
and without that male energy that really, like I said, that was coming from a genuine place of care, concern, love, man. So I won't say that you ain't that. By all counts, you did everything that I
Yeah.
feel like a dad would have did for a daughter,
Uh,
ah,
okay.
but she was
which
like my daughter, man, and I'm
which is
still in her life, and we still walking that path, man. And I'm
yeah.
proud of her because you know what I'm saying. She's been through a lot in her life. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing I had to learn when I went
Mhm.
to the soldier show because, my whole job was combat arms. We ain't deal with nothing but men. I never
Mhm.
worked with females in the military unless they supported us, but we wasn't directly working. So when I was in the presence of these young ladies in the military, I still had that combat arms mindset because all I knew was working, you know what I'm saying, with men. That's it. So I would come at the young ladies the same way. There was no sensitivity in me. You know what I'm saying? You're a soldier. That's all I knew. Male or female, I don't care. You're a soldier. And I'm going to treat you as such. But then I had to learn them jokers sensitive. You know what I'm saying? Certain things I said to the dudes, I can't say to these female soldiers. You know what I'm saying? So now I got to watch my tone, and it almost got me in a lot of trouble. I told
But
one soldier I wanted to kill him. But
but
what he
you
also taught me was how to sit down and listen and learn because the trauma that they have been through in their life before they came to the military, it affects them now. And so as I was talking to these young ladies, I was hitting triggers that I didn't even know were there because I didn't have no sensitivity in me. We get sensitivity training, but that don't mean that we yelling at folks. So, cause we got to get ready for combat. We got to build discipline in these soldiers. So then when I started listening to her and understanding where she came from and how she got to be the person that she was, I was able to be sensitive to her needs and give her, the guidance that she needed in a way that she needed. I was still in that ass, but I still had to give her a different type of guidance than what she was used to. Because I figured out that it was hard for her to take direction from a man because she's been abused by men her whole life. So it was hard for her to take direction from a man. From a woman, it's different, but from a man, she had to stand up because she's been standing up her whole life because men have taken advantage of her. So that's one thing I had to learn with her. So, but I'm still in her life to this day, and I'm always be rocking with her and making sure she good. If she ever needs me, I'm here for her. You know what I'm saying? And this bald head joker right here, man, same with him. You know what I'm saying? I can ask him anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? When there's people in Atlanta and they my friends or whatever, and they need some help, I call that brother right there. And he'll shoot out there and do what they need to do, and boom, we good to hook.
yeah, but you gave her something that a lot of I think that male energy.
Yeah,
Uh, it's okay. Some
Yep.
people just pop in, but what I mean is, you have
Yep.
been consistent. It ain't
Oh
been this
yes.
thing where you just show up for this time,
yeah,
but you have been there for several years now. So that's what's needed. That shows that you're care and you're committed, and you got that you love them enough to that through your actions of consistency. You've been consistently there.
yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, not to rule her life or nothing like that, but to have that presence consistently there. It means the world, man.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna say, man, that's something that she's gonna take on and carry over uh,
Hmm.
with how she interacts with different men or whatever, she's going to always come. I guarantee you're going to always come to her mind when it comes down to those complex
Mm-hmm.
relationships,
Mm-hmm.
or what to do or what have you, man. You gave her a plethora of things to pull from by just being a consistent, uh, positive force.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So don't you ever say you ain't got no daughters, because I know
Okay.
better. I know better. So but but yeah, like I told you, T, you got to definitely be patient enough to hear what they saying to you,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard sometimes to remove ourselves from it, because
Mm-hmm.
like I was telling her, Mike, I end up having to go, and I fought against it, because I'm like, why the hell would you? Why don't you just want to do the right thing? Like you're back in here under this roof, and but I went back through going through the psychiatrist, dog,
Yeah.
uh, um, and I was more serious about it than they were, because I already knew what the answers were,
Hmm.
but they didn't hear it coming from me. So, but to see, they can't say that I wasn't committed to try to understand what they were dealing with, uh, because they go through a lot like that trauma. Where like I said, she graduated from college, dated a narcissist, and then when she bartends, group of table of black men want to just call her over there just to dog her out. Like
Mm-hmm.
that shit that was traumatic. I mean, that it broke my heart to see how bad that hurt her feelings.
Yeah. It's sad.
Um, they did everything to tear her self esteem down,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and not one joker stood up. And it was just maybe that one time, but that was enough to for her to carry that with her daily.
And what was your conversation like to her when she told you that?
Well, you know what? My conversation with her was just like, she has a lot to say. And we was talking about Passport Brothers. I said, when you're dealing with people and they let you know where they stand, you just check them right off of that box. Check them off of that
Yeah.
list, because that shows you don't have to waste energy or time with that. Because like Passport Brothers, if they say, well, black women get on my nerve, they always do this. I said, well, why are we constantly talking about the Passport Brothers? Because they, you know where they stand. Let's focus on where the other men at,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because you already know what they're about in this here. So that was my conversation with, and also,
But society feeds into
uh,
negativity.
yeah,
And so when we see that negativity, that it's gonna outweigh the good. Because we
some
all
some
gonna
some
outweigh
form
the
some.
positivity because that negativity, bruh, is what all these jokers look how these young ladies be getting all twisted over these comments that they get off of social media. So now somebody saying it to them face on, that's kind of hard for them to
It's 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 a force, Mike. But this is the thing again. Like I said, you can't focus. It's like if I watch the news all day. Once upon a time, only thing they talked about, only thing they want to show is black males doing some shit that they ain't supposed to be doing.
correct.
And so it will lead you. You know how psyops is, and to you too. Psyops is the ability to control the minds via
Mm-hmm.
media.
Correct.
And if I looked at that one dimension all of the time, I would think that's reality.
Yeah, but see, the hard part is you know that, I know that, Teresa know that, but do they know that? Because we had to learn. You know what I'm saying? All that comes from experience. We had to experience it first. So they haven't experienced that yet. So it's harder for them. That's why they come to us. But it's harder for them to kind of, because back when we didn't experience nothing, and we took something like that, we either fought them or we got ourselves in trouble. We let it bother us to the bone where it just put us in a depressive mode or all that other stuff. But we know now, so that's why we got the knowledge to give to them. But it's gonna take a little time for them to get it, like it
But
took.
you but your question was, how did I handle that conversation? The conversation is, that was her experience.
Right.
So because that was her experience,
Yeah.
and also looking at the media. She compared the two, and they're acting just like the media is saying they act.
Yeah.
Mm.
So my job was to come in and say, wait a minute, whoa, 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 whoa. Now, I'm a black man. I
Hmm.
don't treat women like that.
Right.
You ain't never saw your uncle do that shit.
Right.
Your grandfather don't do that. I said, you never saw these particular black men. Now I know we've had our moments. Maybe you didn't see me then, but you never, you never saw me endorse that type of behavior. And you're not just looking at me. Look beyond what you're looking at.
Mm.
And again, when I say school is always in session, it's like you pay attention
Yeah.
to the relationships of the people that you love, like uncles, aunts, cousins. You pay attention.
That's gonna always be there.
Bruh, look at how you go around and see your family, dog.
Hmm.
You'll go from state to state or out of, and you make it a point. I've seen you make these posts about your nieces, your nephews. They all know you. But you see, again, we have to pass that type of value on, because you being Uncle Mike or cousin Mike or whatever. See, that's what I tell. They said, well, why have you been married for so long? I said, well, because I'm not just married to my wife. I have a position in the grand scheme of this family structure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have nieces that look up at me. I have nephews, and I have other relatives.
Yeah.
So that's what I tell my oldest daughter that deal with these guys. I said, now you have a responsibility because I have a grandson. And so you can say all the bad shit you want to say about the men. I said, well, where did somebody drop the ball at with these men?
Yeah.
Because her big thing is, Daddy, I'm not responsible for these men and how they act. I'm not responsible to raise them. I said, well, you have a point, but you do have a responsibility to impact young black men. So you are a auntie, and it means something to be an auntie. So if you ever think you don't have a role or position or you don't matter, I said, hell, you are a damn auntie, man. And you got to help mold this guy. So her thing is now with my grandson, my daughter done started growing plants on the back deck. So every morning or so, before he goes to school, grandson is up with TT back there watering plants and learning how to do that. So they are developing a bond. They talk about
That's
things.
good.
So
Yeah.
and then like how you used to get in Rena, Taya, my oldest one was sort of uh, uh, depressed and in that state, so she could walk past us like we're not even there.
Yeah.
So it's up to me to say, oh wait, don't you see your nephew is trying to give you a hug. He's important. Don't just ever walk past them. Get them hugs, get them kisses, because you may never be a mom, but you're right here in this moment to experience this right now. You have a purpose. So it's about us again re-engaging them on what purpose is and what it means to be a part of a family, a, a,
Mm.
a, a tribe, a nation. That's our nation.
Mm.
So and we all have responsibilities and roles within that I think sometimes we don't push that hard enough, because they see
Mm.
you're a TT, so TT can't be out there just acting a fool and dressing any kind of way and doing this. Cause look, somebody looking at you every day, and he is happy to see you. So you make a, what they used to tell us, we are impressionable on young soldiers, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, so
Yeah.
yeah, man. So it's that value we still have to give them a purpose outside of their life experiences, to say, I don't give a shit what you're going through, you still gonna be auntie, you still
Mm-hmm.
gonna be uncle. So that means you being held to a certain standard. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know one time, it was when I was married, and this young lady had said something. We was in California, and this
Hmm.
young lady said something on Facebook. And I don't do the Facebook beef and stuff like that, but she said something bad about me. Nobody want to say nothing like that on Facebook. I was married at the time, And man, she put like a whole post, like, trying to check me on Facebook. So I don't know. So what they say, I hit back, or what they say, whatever the little word is. I went back and I went in. I'm cussing, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, you stupid bitch, da 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 da, which I don't even talk to black women like that.
Mhm.
Man, my auntie, my auntie hit me up and went off on me, and she said, you was raised better than that.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'm talking about gave me an ass whooping across the phone for
yeah,
about 30 minutes. All I said to this day, this is how I still talk about, yes, ma'am.
yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Like I was a little kid. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the respect that I have for my aunties, my uncles. I don't cuss around my aunties, my uncles, my daddy, my mama. I never cussed around them because that's the respect, that's the level of respect that I have for them. And when they talk to me, I'm like a little kid again, even though I'm near about 50 years old. You know
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
sir. Yes, sir. Because that's my uncle.
Yeah.
That's how they raised me.
and
So,
and that's what we have to impart that type of wisdom on
Yeah.
to that generation
Yeah.
because they'll say,
hey, one second. Do it look like I'm cross-eyed? Like I'm looking at y'all talking, but it feel like I was supposed to be like looking over here. I feel like I'm like this, like I'm looking like this, like I'm looking off the screen.
I guess we gonna figure it out after this first one. We gonna know. We gonna figure all this out.
"Oh
After we
man,
get through this one, we'll figure it out.
I'm telling you.
nah,
Lord,
I'm with you. I'm with you.
nah, you straight, you straight, you straight." Yeah,
Oh, it's
man.
so
So
funny.
yeah.
yeah,
Trust
so
what time is it out there?
7:21. I'm in Arizona right now.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
So you about ready to turn the hell up, ain't
By the time I get to Arizona,
After this, of course. Like I say, after I get fed, what's next?
you? Yeah, you good now. So yeah, and me growing up around you with your daughter, I know how she was very protective. You know what I'm saying? Very protective. And she kept that baby in her books. I swear to God. If she ain't doing her homework or walking that little pink dog, that little pink jumpsuit on,
right, right, right.
yeah, so she stayed in her life as far as education. So I seen how she was, yeah, it was all about her daughter. All about her
Yeah.
daughter. So that was a good thing. She gave her life for her child. I
This
give her that.
empty nester is no joke.
Right.
So, but I'm
And I,
ready now. Now that she's in her last year at college, because I was like, woo.
and I was scared when you told me she was going to college. Yo, I was like, oh my God, what is
I
Tressa
mean,
going
she
to
need to. It's like she have to, but it still was like
do? Yeah.
so
Yeah.
hard to go through. But you still got to do it. You know.
And she was always a shy baby. That's why when she was like, yeah, she running track, she doing this, she doing that. I said, what?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
oh yeah.
Yeah, she was always shy.
Basketball, tennis.
Yeah, I
Oh
was,
yeah. Because you
yeah,
got to stay busy.
yeah,
All of that matters. You got to have social life. You got to
yeah,
be able to build those social skills, not just academic, like all of that physical, mental.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And if she didn't like something, okay, once you finish that season, try something else. But you're gonna do something. Yeah.
yeah.
But it was always in a fun way.
Yeah.
That's good.
Because
That's
she
good.
learned something out of it, and it's the key. Because once you find what it connects with you, then just stick to that. But just know the value of what it is, how to work with other people, especially as the only child, at least my only child.
Yeah,
So yeah, but this really helps because um, again, I know the value of having the male, the genuine male energy. I know the value. So I just want to continue to instill those good traits, just like whatever mines are. But yeah, I really appreciate all of this.
yeah,
This is worth celebrating
yeah. It
because
is.
this really helps and it's out there to everybody to be able to reach any and everybody. This is this is what makes me smile. So, yeah, I do appreciate this. I
And I
truly
appreciate
do. I love listening. So if if I'm not saying much, oh, that's wonderful
Yeah,
because it's I'm taking it all in.
yeah. That's what
Uh,
women are. That's what women like it. Just you know what I'm saying? One, just for men to listen to them, but we like women to listen to us too. Let us vent just a little bit. It ain't gonna hurt nothing.
But that's how I learned a lot from being around you. Just with that, like yeah.
Yeah.
So just being
I'm a good
around
shoulder.
different
It's kind
people.
of, I'm a good shoulder. I had some heavy head. Get off my shoulder now. You talking too much. You crying too much. I had some heavy head leaning on my shoulder, but I love it, man. I love it. I love it. And I think it's instilled in us too because, from our upbringing, me and him, we both from Mississippi, so I know we got in about the same upbringing. But it's like even though he's 20 years older than me, but our upbringing, that's one of the good things. And us being leaders for so long in the military, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
we were raising soldiers, but they were still kids. So we was fathers to many, and we was
yeah,
mentors to
uh,
many.
uh,
You know what I'm saying?
uh,
So, the hardest thing, the easiest thing to me was to kind of mold them. But then we kind of sometimes brought that job to the house and we treated our kids as soldiers.
yeah,
Yeah, I know I
yeah,
did times, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
uh,
Uh,
yeah.
I think, yeah, I was like that. The military was easy for me because my pops was a military minded kind of person, so his expectations were already like that. So I think we already had those those values,
yeah,
uh, and I think the military just was not a problem for us in that way
Yeah,
because some people crying
yeah,
and
yeah.
sniffling and shit. I think we had something that's missing today is that I think our generation has a different level of mental toughness. I think we're more durable mentally
Mhm.
yeah,
because whatever problems come, we gonna just try to suck it up and fucking figure it out. But with my children, it's a little bit different. I'm like, man, you stressed out over that?
mhm,
Hey man, hey, and God forbid you say, well, everybody go through that. You say stuff like that right there, boy, they just lose their damn mind. Like, shit,
yeah.
you know.
I think the hardest and the best thing I did was to get away from the nest a little bit, to,
Mhm.
Yeah,
to go see the world and meet new people and doing different people.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? People that haven't experienced that, it's hard for them to understand, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
We don't been around different cultures, different types of people, dated different New Yorkers, Midwesters, Westerners, all that junk. You know what I'm saying? Overseasers, Germans, Russians, just all kinds of mess.
I often tell my relatives everything you saying.
Yeah,
You gotta get out.
yeah, you got to get out because
Uh,
this ain't
uh,
what the world just looks like. It's different out there.
I tell you what, it gave me a deeper appreciation from
Oh
where I
yes.
came from,
Yeah,
Oh yes.
yeah,
and
Oh yes.
my parents. People can say what they want to say. We didn't have
Oh.
much, but when you talk about values and how to survive and how to just be anchored,
Mm.
I mean I appreciate them so much.
hell yeah,
Uh,
because they made
for
something out of nothing.
bruh, look at here.
Something out of nothing.
Hey,
Take a
hey
small
man.
thing, make it big.
Hey, somebody, my older brother had posted the other day. Somebody was making some old cheese toast. You know,
Mm.
I was like, you know what? We knew how to do that when we was little. Hey, get your ass in there and make you a cheese toast with that damn cheese or some damn butter toast.
Government cheese,
Hey,
boy.
hey, look, we didn't have no toaster. You know what I mean? We didn't have no toaster. You had to put it in the oven.
Awesome.
You had to put it in the oven and it brown on one side. But we know how to fix that toast and fry egg. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Fry some spam or some shit, bologna or some shit like that. But it's just stuff like that, or make some flapjacks, or uh,
yeah,
make something like that. But we knew how to do that like early.
yeah.
And,
My
and
mom knew
some of
one.
them,
My mom knew one time. We knew Father's Day. We knew Mother's Day. They
mm,
had Children's Day, and to this day, bro, I swear to God, I thought it was a Children's Day for real. You know what I'm saying?
Bruh.
We had a little slide thing, but they just took a trash bag and stretched it out, put it on the ground, and we would slide across the trash bag. You know what our trampoline was? 2 mattresses.
Nigga, I remember them times.
Bro,
If
we
you
used to
got,
jump off a house on a
if,
mattress, dog.
bruh, if
Yeah,
you messed around and got hold to an old mattress, bruh, look at here, bruh.
Oh, wow.
oh man.
But
Yeah,
you
bro.
know, like I said, man, I just think we just have a different outlook. I heard this. I heard this saying. They say strong men make or strong women make easy times for the next
Mm,
generation.
mm,
And then this one guy, he was like, you know, his parents, his grandparents walked to school, and then the next generation, you know, they rode Mercedes and this right here, but then the next two generations after that, they'll end up walking again, you
mm,
know, because they won't value the struggle, the hard times. They just remember the shit being easy, and mom and daddy provided all of this, so they are far removed from the struggle
Yeah,
because we made time so easy. Because we didn't want them to deal with it like we had to deal with it.
yeah. And that's what it is. That was one of my biggest things.
mm,
I want my
mm,
kids. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
Even though I didn't have a bad upbringing, you know what I'm saying? I had some things, but they wasn't bad. You know, my mother was great. You know what I'm saying? I had a great pop that raised me. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So I
right,
ain't
right,
saying no bad upbringing like that. But
right.
I wish my kids could have grew up in that
Yeah.
same family dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up around all my cousins. You know what I'm saying? All of them. Out of my grandmother's 7 kids. You know what I'm saying? I grew around all my cousins. So that was a good, and it's a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? When we call the boys, you know, when they give you names like this, it's a lot.
Troublemakers right there. God,
yeah,
Lord.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it
Yeah,
was a
that.
lot of us, man, and we had fun times. We really learned each other, got to know each other. We were best friends. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And we spread apart, and you know what I'm saying, the communication stopped and all that other stuff, and it gets hard. You know, that's how I wanted my kids to kind of grow up. So that's why I always, every time I went on leave, we went to see my parents, my cousin them. I wanted them to grow up around their cousins, go home for the summer so they can build that same relationship that I had. You know, but it was
Well,
different.
I got a question for both of y'all, and I think each one of us can put this in to sort of cap this thing off.
Yeah.
If you guys had to import one um, tradition from our era that should be passed down, that you think is a foundational piece, what would that tradition be from your own backgrounds? If you had to pick one solid tradition to pass down that help solidify you and keep you grounded.
With family,
Yeah, if you want to impart this on to the next generation, your kids or nephews, nieces, what do you think that particular tradition would be?
yearly family reunions to me.
Okay,
Ooh,
Yearly
yearly
family,
family. That's big. That's
what
big.
you said? Family reunions?
yearly family reunions.
Ooh, yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that. It was family I didn't even know, and thankful for the military
yeah, yeah,
in California, military and Facebook. I found my family in California. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? On my grandmother's side, I never would have known them if I wouldn't have went to California, or I wouldn't have just found them on Facebook. And we met
Yeah.
up, man. We've been tight ever since. I don't went to their career every time I go to Cali. I go see them and stuff like that. So yeah, yearly family reunions.
And why that is huge is because that will be an arranged routine every year where it would make it where everyone would be able to have enough time to set it in their schedules, and you use that time to have all of these types of discussions
Yeah.
and interactions, and um because that's a part of what's missing, the
Yeah.
emotional
That,
connection, because we're not physically able to be available. But I think family reunions center that. um yeah, and
yeah, that,
all types of discussion,
yeah,
financial literacy, any and everything. That is at time annually, and come back each year and discuss what from the past year.
yeah,
um
yeah.
yeah.
Our family reunions now are
Hey,
called funerals.
What's that?
Our family reunions now are called funerals.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
I get you. But,
I On mama's side never been to one.
Yeah.
but
Just knew about daddy after daddy passed away. Just went on that side. So I'm just slowly getting to that. So yeah, like
I,
that's it right there.
that,
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah, that's a big one because you even if like you said your daughter is your only child, it gives
Hmm.
her a sense of connection.
Yeah.
Like my daughters didn't grow up like I grew up with all my cousins and all that.
Yeah.
My daughters moved around with me in the military, so they don't
Mm.
have the same. Me and my cousins went to kindergarten all the way through high school. They don't have that type of connection.
Yeah.
But those reunions gives them that. So I think
Yeah.
that was a great one right there. That's a
Yeah.
great one. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's one tradition that should be passed down to the next to show that value, and that's important to have those. All right, T, your time.
But that's what I'm saying. So then, with that centered as the core, it could be traditions within those traditions held during that time frame. From having these types of discussion to talking
Mhm.
about financial literacy to to having creating these safe spaces where we can have discussions, that where we can build trust and find those particular relatives that we can build trust with in order to reach out to when we may need assistance, and vice versa, but be
Mhm.
able to create those relationships. That way we have some connection. Like
Mhm.
that's that I the family reunions, like that's that core piece.
Mhm.
That because now we're gonna make it there. Now it's not like, as he say, when we see each other's funerals. So it's that's not the time. Then it's only so much time in a year. Then you're tired every time go to the funeral, and then you're arguing depending on what happened from there. Then it gets carried on. But if it's not centered around just positivity, um, like that's it gotta kind of be something like that to shape it there, because of course you still have time to prep throughout the course of that year for that family reunion, so you're still connecting with those that are involved with
Mhm.
prepping and things like that. But um yeah, I think all of that, from even because one day, from what I hear, I haven't been to one, but from what I hear, you have a one day, they have fun day and play sports. They have another evening where they have these discussions. They split up from the women and the men.
Mhm.
The next day they go to church. Like this is what I hear,
Yeah.
and when he mentioned that, I mean, all I could ever do is imagine this when I hear people talk about that. Um, but it's funerals. That's
Mhm.
what it is when we come together, because that's what it is when we come together. Um, but I think that's the core piece, and everything else within on this scheduled time frame where we can all be available because we know what it is every year. Um, that would be
Mhm.
ideal.
Yeah.
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 I think I think
Yeah.
I think I think I think like cooking together like recipes uh should be passed down. Uh, like
Yeah.
like my moms can make the best smothered uh, gravy and chicken and whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but
Mm.
but but even to bring it on home, like like all of the older people knew how to make something as simple like tea cakes. It's like, where the hell is the tea cake recipe? Because that right there in
Mm.
itself, um, or you take like like plants, like my grandmother had flowers, mama had
Yeah.
flowers, but see,
Yeah.
out in the front of my house,
Ah.
uh, I have flowers that have came down through the generation. Like I have flowers from my
Yeah.
mother's flower bed, from my grandmother, from her mother's, and from her mother's mother. So we have the same plant that have been passed down. So it's that type of stuff that I'm talking about. I put that in the categories like recipes. Um, yeah, I think that just gives us another sense of connection. Like this same plant was with great grandmama, you say? That's what my daughter be like,
Yeah.
wow. But yeah, this
Yeah.
same plant right here. So we keep that type of stuff
I like that
moving.
too, because
Yeah.
that's another thing that I haven't even experienced.
Hmm.
My grandparents died well before I was even thought of on both sides. But
Hmm.
going back, when I hear people share these things, I already imagined a connection without even having that experience. So that also sounds like a really good one. And I'm going to also still ask my mom because I mean she may have something, but even if she don't, that is
Hmm.
still good for me to be
Yeah.
able to start creating that for
Yeah.
me and pass it down too.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. We got to do it because
so I like that. I
I'm
mean,
talking about it gives my kids, I mean, my daughter,
yeah,
they be like that. You mean this came from great great grandmama or great great great? So
yeah.
they out there trying
I
to
think
take
that's
care of
good.
the flowers, and then they'll take a part of it. They can
And then
take the roots.
Okay,
this the card of no.
huh? What you say?
I said pass it down. We pass down this card of nose.
Pass it down the car to
You know you're
nose.
a Carter. You got that nose. Oh yeah, he want
Yeah,
them
That's
Carter.
funny.
I
That's funny.
so
It's
yeah, man.
another one now that you mentioned it too, though. I think but I think it ties still into family reunions. But to stay physically active, like do physical activities, because it seems like you have to push more. Like
Yeah,
I don't know. I used to always like to watch sports, but I wasn't pushed. I wouldn't necessarily say I was pushed, but what driven it was a male, and I started track and field, and then so it's like, but to know the connection of just appreciating your body and what it does for you so early in life, I think that somehow putting that in it that would also help, because oftentimes, I mean, you have children 10 years old, 200 plus pounds. Um,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean it get. I mean, but you know, with us, when Mama cleaned the house up, she was like, "Get y'all ass out of here. Y'all don't come back to this evening. Y'all go get out of here. I clean up." So we had to get out, and so you had to go do sports or run in the
Yeah.
pasture or
Yeah.
cause they were not playing.
And we had
But
children.
so,
Before we left that house, we had children.
yeah, hey,
My
bro,
grandma, my grandma used to be like this here.
you better believe it.
Say I brought a girl over to the house. She'll make that girl get up and clean that house. If that house a mess, baby, come here. Do what I should say,
Yeah,
baby. Grab that
yeah,
What?
broom
For
and
real?
go sweep that
yeah,
floor over
yeah. That's what it was.
there. Just like this here. And I
That's
do
it.
it sometimes. She'll sit there just like this and watch. You missed a spot right there, baby.
Yeah.
Now take that mop and I want you to mop this whole floor. That girl be like, I ain't coming over here no more.
So I think I think I think again it would be great to compile like a
Interesting.
like some type of listing, because people don't know their culture. They get caught up in the wrong things that have been
Yes.
presented as our culture
Yes.
that are very harmful.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
think again that I think we need to create lists like this, um, that reflect, certain traditions that are a part of our culture. Because when you ask the question, even now, you say, "What is the black community?" Most people can tell they can't tell you what a black community look like. And I grew up in one. It was we had black teachers, black you know black business owners, black everything. So
Mm-hmm. What you say?
Black Panthers.
hey, but we had a representation of it across the board.
Yeah.
Uh, so when you say what does a black community, I think
Yeah.
um, it's the Dr. Boyd. He got this thing called blackonomics. Uh, but he talks about what the black community is, and I've done a couple of speaking engagements where I go back to my old town, and I see the community center is going down. The they just don't do ain't no initiative to keep nothing. So
Yeah.
my question I posed to them was, what is the black community?
Um,
Is there even a black community, and if is it necessary? And then I said, well, if it was necessary, then why is it that the community center that was such a pillar in the
yep.
black community,
Yep.
why does it look like it's run down?
Yep.
So why does
Yep.
other communities come in and body it up and gentrify
because
it?
because it's just a community that black people live in. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
I
saying? It's not a black community. It's a community that black people live in. We don't own nothing out there. We just
I
live.
now see I disagree. Like I said, in where I grew up, we when you say community, you talk about the main one is you have a black school, you have the black church, you have the black farmers. So that
Mm.
replaced the black stores because
Oh,
we grew everything, we did all of those things.
but
So we had
we didn't
yeah
own
yeah we did they did own it.
in
They like
Carolina.
like I said, even like the barber shops, the beauty salon, the cafe, the barbershop that BB King grew up in with my great grandfather, that was black owned. The beauty salon was owned by my aunt and another lady, Miss Seal. They own that. The cafe that my mom and dad had, they was running with the pool hall, the juke, they had all of that shit in the cafe. Uh, they own that. So the carpenters own it. We had black principals, black teachers. So what I said is I came from a true black community. I know what it looked like.
Oh yeah, we do.
But but we caught the tail end of integration. Right when they started to integrate, that's when the ones that born in the 70s came about. But we got to see the black community. So I know what it looked like, but I do agree with you to the point. There are no black communities or neighborhoods. It's just fucking hoods.
Yeah,
It ain't nothing that we own. Like we don't like when everybody went up north to the industrial age, to the jobs in the plants and all that stuff. A lot of people migrated to Chicago, New York, so forth and so on, and they left all of that land and all of that shit down south, but they didn't come back. And then, well, before we had all of the land, but now we don't own jack. We don't own nothing down there. So, but that's probably for another show.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
but I think we
Gotta
need to
talk
touch on
about it.
those
Gotta talk
things. Yeah,
about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
important.
Because
Yeah.
Jesus is the reason for the season.
Hey, all day.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you black folk for being on here
I know.
having this having this discussion.
Yeah, man.
You
Hey,
know,
and I gotta give you I gotta lift you up, T, because I know it hadn't been easy being no single black woman that's a single parent and then
you know.
having to try to raise your daughter and give her the guidance, man. And that's hey, if you got her this far, and man, you guys are still intact, you know. Hey, we got to give it up for you. So we appreciate you for that.
Well,
So
thank you all, cause
yeah,
I appreciate you all. it isn't easy, and I do feel like it's still not enough, which is why I volunteer my time and help out even in the community. Um, but this things like this, this when I feel because this is community. This is
Mhm,
community.
mhm.
Um, and this is where I've been trying to be right here. So to get it all connected, now I feel more complete. Um,
Good deal.
but yeah, I appreciate you all. And yes, this is a part of it. He said that this is going to be recorded, saved, all of your points you made. Yes, I am going to draft it up. Um, we got to do more with this.
No doubt.
I'm here to do more with this. I want to do more with this. Um, this was good. What a good way to start my trip here too.
Good deal. Good deal.
So thank you all for your time. I really appreciate it. This is right here. This works.
All right. All right.
uh, so appreciate
Mark
you all.
Johnson.
You all have a good evening, and I will be speaking to you all soon.
All right. All right. All right.
Okay, take care.
Deuces, deuces, deuces.